From the WVOX News and Information Center, here's a look at your latest headlines.
Rob Astorino wants to sit down with HUD. An immigration reform rally was held in White Plains yesterday. Home sales and prices are on the rise in Westchester. And the county and state authorities finally come to an agreement on sign maintenance. There you go. All right. And speaking of the county, the County Board of Legislators chairman is with us, as he is every Thursday at this time, Ken Jenkins. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, TJ, and good morning, Westchester.
There you go. All right. So, Ken Jenkins, okay, so the state and county finally have an agreement. You guys decided that it's worth it to to come to an agreement to inspect these signs.
Completely ridiculous.
Woo!
Pointing figures. I mean, it's our road, and whether it's, signs that we would inspect on a normal basis, that's what happens when we're so short-staffed that we can't continue to follow up on just routine maintenance. So that's a problem, and we need to address that.
Yeah, well, it also sounds like there was a breakdown in communication between the county and the state.
Well, you know what? A breakdown in communications would be one thing, but if you have a road, and it's our road, and it's a proper piece of thing on our road, we did inspect it, and whether it belongs to someone else or not, we still have an obligation to inspect it. Just like a bridge that's over our road, it's a state bridge, but we still get inspections from the state, although it's our bridge. Right. So I think that, we're going to get through that and make sure that we're protecting the public, which really should be all about what we're doing.
Absolutely. All right, and going forward. So listen now, there's this. Let me get to the juicy thing first. There is this fabulous, delicious, tasty rumor running around that you actually have now changed your sights, and that you are more thinking in terms of your home heath of Yonkers, and that you may in fact be slipping out of this county executive race. You're denying that, though?
Not only denying it, I'm going to win a convention, so why would I be doing that? I mean, we're working very hard on doing that. We're in perfect position to win this. Obviously, we have a vote that happens on April 24th, and it's about getting out people to vote at that convention. We're working hard, and we're going to be in a great position where we are right now. We're going to start rolling out union endorsements. We started yesterday with the hotel trades union. It's a ground game. We know that's how we're going to win this race in November. And we have a great case to talk about, and we have a great case to make to the people of Westchester.
All right. And speaking of the people of Westchester, your potential opponent, Rob Astorino, the current county executive, he is asking once and for all for a sit-down with HUD. He says that the county has been compliant. The county sends information, and that HUD is basically, Astorino's painted a picture that HUD is sitting there with its arms folded and just saying, They refuse to accept what the county is telling them. What say you about that?
Well, one is that the county executive is being completely disingenuous. HUD has been meeting with the county well before that, but since 2010, and he came in office, we had 5 iterations of this document, which is the analysis of impediments document, where we have issues. And there's only 2 issues left. One is about source of income protection, source of income discrimination protection, by the way, as well as the zoning issues. The monitor on Monday, this past Monday, came in and said he's doing his analysis. He is not prepared yet to say what the results of that are, but there are some issues, whether it's 1 issue or 10 issues or 50 issues or 43 issues. It doesn't matter, right? There's some issues, and they're working through identifying what the actions need to be. So that's disingenuous. The county executive, if you recall, went down to HUD, met with Sean Donovan, had a nice photo op down in Washington, and speaking directly with the secretary of HUD. And I think that it's completely disingenuous to try to suggest that there hasn't been conversation. They've been working with us well before 2009, when this report was due, as part of the stipulation agreement that this was due. And we haven't got it done. So if you had a report that wasn't due for 4 years and your money was being held up about it, you would probably want to focus on that, as opposed to continuing to suggest that HUD is not listening to you. You kind of have to listen to that. If I wanted to
find me some good old-fashioned segregation today, if I wanted to take my WVOX microphone today and go and find some exclusionary practices, where would you send me?
Well, Well, you know what? I think that one of the things we've done in Westchester County, and we started with this up in Rye-Town when we had some housing that was being developed. Mm-hmm. And exclusionary zoning is not discriminatory by race alone. People, kind of forget that there's other things. And in the case of Rye-Town, the exclusionary zoning was saying that the housing was only for workers from the municipality. That's exclusionary. That doesn't mean it's discriminatory. People could be black, brown, white, doesn't matter. Right? But no one else can get into that housing because it's excluding anyone from outside that community. That's what exclusionary zoning is, and we've had that in many communities. And for workforce housing, we have it in Hastings, where we were able to work around that because the agreement was for the water wheel property, that the properties would be for public school teachers and municipal workers from the municipality. Right. That's exclusionary. Right? So what we need to do is continue to work through those, identify where those particular problems are, and then come up with a plan on resolving
Now,
them.
is that what HUD's talking about?
That's what HUD's talking about.
But now it sounds like they've been addressed, though.
They have not all been addressed. That's what the identification is. The question was for Westchester to identify where those exclusionary zoning practices are, come up with a plan for resolving them, and what would happen to those folks if they failed to resolve them as it relates to funds that come from the federal government.
Now, is there
That's kind of simple as it is. It's not that difficult, and it's not that hard. And quite frankly, it's something that we could have done since we started with this report in 2009 when we entered into the stipulation agreement. But to try to fan the flames, to try to fan the flames and make it this big case that we're fighting for this money. Hey, we're in violation of the stipulation agreement now. People should not get distracted by this particular sideshow about $7.5 million. Our stipulation agreement is in violation because of the actions of this county executive, and we are on the hook for $500 million. That's a problem. That's what we should be focusing on.
Is there anything that the county board of legislators could do right now?
As far as what?
I don't know. I just in terms of all this.
Well, since we haven't been involved in this conversation, the county executive is going to try to meet with the HUD again on some kind of appeals process. Usually that's reserved for when you just send in a form and they send up a stamp and reject it. Not when they've been meeting with you for the last 4 years. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, but that's an administrative process. That's what should be done. As far as the source of income legislation is concerned, we already passed source of income legislation. We did that back in 2010 after 2.5 years of work. The county executive chose to veto that legislation, and that is what the court said, that the county executive failed in his responsibilities as far as creating source of income legislation. Now, the board certainly could have another piece of source of income legislation, which could either get voted on by the board and not pass at the board floor, because there is no requirement in the stipulation agreement to pass source of income legislation, only for the county executive to promote it. And quite frankly, he could have done that by sending down legislation like he's done for the Local Development Corporation, or what I understand he plans to do, to ask the county board for permission to sue the government about this loss of funding. So he knows how to get his lawyers to send down legislation when he wants to promote something. He really should be promoting something to resolve a $500 million item.
All right, Ken Jenkins, thanks for your contribution, and have a good rest of the week.
All right, TJ, have a good day, and be careful out there with all this rain.
Yes, absolutely. It was good to meet you last week, by the way.
It was an awesome meeting, by the way. And you're a fantastic comedian, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Have a good day.
Bye now. All right, there goes Ken Jenkins. I was waiting for that compliment. That's what I was doing, because he saw me be really funny.